Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about getting used to being on camera to make videos. I think there's two main concerns that people have when they film themselves for a video. One of those is, what are people going to think about their appearance, for example, or the way they sound, or the way they present themselves, or whatever it is that's to do with the sort of physical idea of yourself being on camera. And I think the second idea is the embarrassment factor, if you like, or the nervousness of talking to a crowd of people. Because even though you're sitting in a room and just talking at camera, and you're really talking to nobody at the time that you're doing that, there could come a time when people see your videos, probably mostly people you don't know, but there could be some people who you do know who also see them, especially if you obviously get bigger and more successful at this, or if you start telling people about it. But so those two things are like physical appearance and then public speaking, and they both go together, really, I think. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about those today and try and help you to address why you might be feeling like that and how to fix it. So stick with me for this video and let's get into it and let's go through it together. I think the first question then is let's take the public speaking. I was probably the same as anybody else, most other people, I would think, when I was at school. In that, when you're called to do a presentation and you're thinking, oh no, I've got to go up in front of the class and, talk about whatever it is, the subject you need to talk about. And I guess it was intimidating maybe, or, you're nervous you might mess it up or say something stupid or whatever it is, someone might laugh at you. Now, for me, those are things that are way back in my past. And I think I was able to put them in my past by sort of self-reflection and trying to work out, why is that even a thing? Because most of my career has been about reading people, understanding what motivates people, trying to either change their mind or to negotiate with them and be diplomatic to get them to do something often other than what they were already doing or intending to do. So I spent a lot of time studying people, and when you do that, you start to look at yourself. And I think that is something that YouTube is going to bring you to, is to try and look at yourself. Now, it's easy to be self-critical. It's easy to be concerned about what other people will think of you. But I want you to understand that what you're doing on YouTube is you're trying to find a group of people who share similar things. So they share similar interests, they share common goals, they share a way of doing things, or a philosophy, let's say, about where they want to be, how they're going to get there, and the right way to do that. And so you're looking for a tribe of people, effectively, that are on the same level as you. So anybody who isn't on the same level as you, or who doesn't like you or your content or whatever it is that they don't like, they're not even relevant to the journey going forward, because they won't be part of it. It's quite simple. If you imagine back to the school scenario, all of those people that were in your school class, you were going to see them every day for at least a number of years, and you're going to have to deal with them directly. So it makes sense, that you could feel somewhat concerned about how people are going to perceive you and the reaction they're going to have to you. But on YouTube, you're talking about random strangers. And if it's a random stranger that has something negative to say about you or something nasty to say, you can press the block button. I mean, you can literally delete what they say and it will be gone forever, hidden away from your channel. You can block them so they're no longer able to access or see your channel. So, I mean, you couldn't do that back at school when you had to stand up in front of people. You had to come back and deal with them every day. So in that sense, YouTube makes it kind of easier, because firstly, you're able to do most of this in private, unless you're outside, of course, doing videos outside. And we maybe talk about that in a little bit. But, excuse me. You're able to block and delete people, anything you don't want to see, or anybody who you don't want to be part of what you're doing. So, I mean, that in itself sort of tells you that that's quite a powerful thing to have that you don't normally get in normal life. And then all the other people who are on the channel are going to be people who like what you do or like what you have to say. And so for those people, you've got nothing to worry about. Now, if someone's going to judge you, let's say, for the way you look, well, again, they're probably just going to disappear. For someone to actually come into a comment section and start talking about your appearance or anything like that, I think shows that you really don't have anything to to talk to that person about, because they don't like you for whatever reason, and that reason is quite likely nothing to do with you, because there's loads of people that see you for how you are every day and they don't think about it. All your family, all your friends, everybody that you interact with in the day, they're probably not that reflective on oh, that guy looked weird, or that guy's losing a bit of his hair, or oh, he's got a broken nose, yeah, like me. They don't care, I don't think. And if they do care, what effect has it had on me? None. Zero. I just don't care. And they're just as concerned as you are with their own appearance and how they present themselves and how they're seen in the world. They're not that interested in in you, because they see you for how you actually are. The problem with us is we don't see each other, or we don't see ourselves, sorry, for how we really are, I think. And for example, how we sound on camera. Everybody listens to their voice, especially for the first time. I remember way back in the early 90s or whatever, when my dad got a video camera, and then you listen to yourself, do I sound like that? I didn't even know until I was probably, I don't know, 15 years or more, old, that how I even sounded to the world. And at the time, I was probably quite shocked. Is that really what I sound like? And of course, everybody else is looking at me thinking, yeah, because they're used to it, but I wasn't used to it. And now I actually am not bothered by how I sound, or I don't reflect on it, because since I was 15, I have now progressively heard that more and more over time, until you just get used to it and you just accept, well, that's how I sound. There's nothing I can do about it. And there's plenty of people who like me, who will listen to what I say and who want to spend time with me. So why would I care if somebody doesn't like my voice? I actually had a comment on one of my previous YouTube videos on another channel. Love your voice. And I'm sitting there thinking, really? Okay. I think this person was American. They like my accent or something. I don't know. But, for every person out there who doesn't like you, there's going to be somebody who does, right? So just don't worry about it. It doesn't matter, because you're here to find your people, not those random people who don't like you. Now, I think if people are taking the time to actually bother to point out something about you that they don't like, especially when it's not constructive in any way, it's just a basic insult. Again, take a look at them. Take a look at their life and how that is. I mean, what position must they be in to bother to come onto a YouTube video that someone's put time and effort into making for the benefit of other people, and then start telling you that your nose is broken or something, you look like trash? Don't care. I don't care what those people think. It doesn't matter. Now, I've been lucky because, or lucky, I don't know if that's the right word, but I've worked in security and law enforcement for a long time. I've dealt with a lot of people. And in fact, my most recent job, all of that experience of dealing with people and understanding how to read people's behavior and what their intentions are going to be before they've even acted out those intentions and things like that, were actually a big part of, or the only part of my job almost, for the last 5 years. But all that experience before that brought me to that point. So I've spent a lot of time studying how people behave and the things they do. But I've also been able to put myself in a lot of situations. Now, the main reason I started in that industry in the first place was because I went to university, and I realized that I could earn basically double the money that somebody working, say, behind a bar could earn as a student, by working in security at clubs and bars and pubs and stuff. And of course, when you think about doing that job, I knew I was fairly diplomatic, and I was often the one that stood up and dealt with situations if there was some kind of potential conflict. Um, when I was out with friends, for example, I was often the one that stepped up and did it. And it wasn't because I enjoyed doing it. It was because I looked around and I saw that everybody else is there frozen, and somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to try and fix it, because otherwise it may get worse. But anyway, so I was used to putting myself out there, although always reluctantly, because I am an introvert, I would say. Despite all these things that I'm saying, I have no desire to be in the public eye, if you like. I don't want to be famous. Oh God, I can't think of anything worse, I think, almost, for me. But yeah, so I have no desire to do it in that sense, but it's just something that I could do, and I saw it was necessary to do. So when I came to think about working in a nightclub, for example, in security, I realized that I'm going to have to put myself out there in front of people. I'm going to have to really be careful about how people perceive me to the best of my ability, because I want to be able to resolve conflicts without resorting to anything physical. And I've walked into like a pub, for example, that's been open the entire day, and I walk in at 7 o'clock, and there's groups of guys there, been watching football matches, all had too many beers and stuff. And maybe the manager's looking a bit worried, concerned. He's thinking that there's going to be a problem soon with a certain group or two groups. And I've literally had to walk into the middle of groups of 15, 20 guys and build some kind of rapport and build some kind of relationship with them from nothing, to enable me to fix the situation, or to come to some kind of understanding with these people, so that what the manager is worried about happening will not happen. And again, are you scared when you do that? You probably should be. Yeah, there's been plenty of times I've been scared. There's been plenty of times when I thought this could go wrong. And luckily for me, from using what I've learned, most of the time it's gone really well. But you always know there's that chance, right, when you walk into something like that. So if you are concerned about people reacting badly to you, just think that there's much worse situations you could be in, and you could probably fix them as well. I have a friend who runs his own business, which is to do with basically communication skills and intervention into difficult situations, and conflict resolution and all kinds of stuff like that. And he, as an experiment, excuse me, as an experiment, what he will do is, let's say he's staying in a hotel because he's traveling for work. He's doing a training course for other people on conflict resolution and that sort of thing. And so he's traveling for work and he's staying in a hotel. Now he goes down to the breakfast buffet, and he'll see somebody who's sitting on their own. Man, woman, doesn't matter, whatever. And he will go over and approach that person and see if he can get himself to be able to join that person for breakfast and start up a conversation and have a chat and build some kind of relationship from nothing, from random weird stranger coming up to you at breakfast asking if he can join you, to walking away with that person having a great experience and a nice chat over breakfast, and maybe feeling good about the day and themselves and about what's happened. And I mean, if you can imagine, if I said to you, go up to somebody random in a hotel lobby that's eating breakfast and introduce yourself and try and basically join them for breakfast, a random stranger, I think most of you'd be thinking, what? I never want to do that. And even for me, it would be kind of, I don't know. Could I do it? Probably, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure I could, in fact. But would I want to? Well, not really. But on YouTube, you've got to do some portion of that, right? You have to have something to push you enough, something to say. You've got to come out of your comfort zone. And whether that's really low level, like we are now, me sitting here talking to you through this camera, just pointed at me. I mean, there's nothing for me to worry about here. I'm in my house. I can delete this video. I can block you. You know. So is it really that much pressure to talk to this camera right now as I'm doing? And so I think when you think of it like that, the scenario you could be in and the scenario you actually really are in, I think if you just think about it in a reasonable way and a logical way, you'll see that you really don't have anything to worry about. Now, like I said, I'm sitting here talking to you. You know, do I worry about my appearance? I'm aware of my appearance. Do I worry about it? Not really. And a couple of the previous videos, maybe even this one as well, something to do with the lighting and stuff. Don't know what it was. I felt like I looked shiny. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Shiny. And I was thinking, oh, what should I do? Shall I edit it? And I might try and edit it a little bit because maybe it doesn't look the best quality. But really, the most important thing is what I'm saying, not whether I look a bit shiny. I don't think, at least. And if people think I look a bit shiny, I don't know why either today. I have no idea. But anyway, if that is the case, then, well, they probably won't watch more. Or they'll just go, oh, well, he looks shiny. I don't care because what he's saying makes sense. So I'm just going to listen. So, you know, I'm doing exactly the same, facing the same struggles. Everybody out there that's doing this stuff is, right? And, you know, does any of it matter? Like, does it actually make a difference? I don't know. You know, will anyone watch my videos because or not watch my videos because I'm shiny? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I won't be shiny. Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to put it out there because I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. What should be relevant in this video, I guess, is what I'm actually saying to you. And the message I'm trying to get across. That's what you should take away from it, not the fact that I'm shiny. I've got to stop saying I'm shiny now. Anyway, so yeah, that's the message I'm trying to get across. And if you guys can't see through to, you know, the value that I'm trying to provide because you're looking at my appearance, then probably not going to go that far, right? I mean, or go and find somebody else who you prefer watching. Really, you know, it's that simple, isn't it? So, you know, I'm just a normal person like you guys. I've had some experiences that have helped me with, for example, being able to talk to this camera now without any fear or worry. But if I can do it, and, you know, I started in the same place as you guys. I was a kid at school who didn't want to stand up in front of people and talk. I did it because I had to do it, much like you probably. But did I want to do it? Not really. Do I want to be the center of attention now? No. But if I see something that needs doing, then I'll go and fix it. And what you need to see, that you need to do, is if you want to follow your dream, which I'm assuming is to start up your own thing and probably a YouTube channel if you're watching this, is to consider that, is the end goal more important than the small obstacles that are in your way? If you really want to do this and you want to make a success out of it, then you just got to get over these things. Now, there's ways to do that, like pretend you're talking to a friend, for example. I've heard people having a little picture of a friend up on the camera so they can pretend they're talking to them. That still doesn't mean that you're not going to release this video to potentially thousands, if not millions of people. So if that helps you, great, do it. But I think you just got to get over the fact that there's people out there that will like you, there's people out there that won't. The only ones that are important are the ones that do like you, because they're the ones that are going to stick with you. They're the ones that are going to follow your journey. And they're the ones you're going to take along with you and hopefully provide value to and help. They're your audience. They're your friends. They're your group, your tribe, whatever you want to call it. The rest of them don't matter. So I hope this has helped somehow. I'll try and maybe do more on this, but this video is long enough now. So I'll leave it there. But if you've liked this video and you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, all that stuff. Leave me comments as well. I love comments. I've mentioned this before. I love hearing other people's stories and experiences. It's super helpful to me and other people. So please, please, you have some value to share. Please share something in the comments if you can, if you have the time. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.